This little snow globe is part of an amazing story. A story of love, empathy, and fate. A story that started with a sad little girl at Kimball that had just lost her dad.
When I came back to school, things were just hard. Kids would talk about their dads, and I would see little girls run up and go hug their dads after school, and I just didn't understand why I had to lose my dad. And I was just little, and my dad wasn't coming home. And, I would wake up in the middle of the night and hoping that my dad was in the other room, and he wasn't.
Some days she would be fine, and other days she would just, sort of lose it. And her teacher would bring her down to me and say, she just needs a little tender love and care. So I'd put her in my lap, because she was really a tiny little thing when she was 5, and she'd sit in my lap, and I had a little, kind of like a little snow globe that I'd gotten for little kids that would come in my office, just sort of distract them while I was talking to their parents, and had little angels in it. So I would take that and I'd kind of shake it and talk to her about her daddy till she was just calm.
It was just comforting. It was a place where I could be myself. I could give her that raw emotion and just cry, and she would be able to handle it. She was the main person that made me understand that this is something that I could take and make it good. It didn't have to be bad. Though it was bad when I was little, it didn't have to always be bad.
And it wasn't always bad for Barbie. She moved on from her childhood trauma to become a model student. Then, sadness came knocking again.
When she was in 6th grade, my husband passed away, and I was gone for about 6 weeks. And when I came back to school, she was in 6th grade, and I was in my office feeling very vulnerable and very weak. I didn't know if I could make it through the day, and she was the first face I saw.
The first day she came back, I asked my 6th grade teacher if it would be okay if I went down there. And everybody at Kimball knew our relationship and knew that Miss Cummings, helped me through my father's death. So I knew she was going to need that moment to just cry. So I went down there, and she looked at me, and I just told her, you were there for me, so I'm going to be there for you.
I remember thinking after that, if Barbie can do this, I can do it.
Barbie and Karyn went their separate ways through middle school and most of high school. But then, their paths crossed again.
I was in the photojournalism class, and Miss Morris actually said that we were getting a new principal, and I was like, who's it going to be? And Miss Morris was like, Karyn Cummings? And I was like, you're kidding me. I was like, Karyn Cummings? I was like, Miss Cummings? I was getting so excited.
This year, her senior year, first day of school, after we got all the kids in and everything, I went down to my office, and sitting on my desk with a little note was that little angel snow globe. I don't even remember giving it to her, but evidently I gave it to her at some point when she was in elementary school, and she left me a little note that said, can we keep this here for my senior year?
And it was quite a senior year for Barbie. She was elected homecoming queen with Karyn at her side. Then came the Lighthouse Award.
I had told her I wasn't going to cry at Lighthouse when I introduced her, and she gave her story to the crowd, but I couldn't get through the introduction without kind of losing it.
She truly has changed my life, so Barbie Smith.
And finally, graduation.
I remember being in kindergarten, graduating from kindergarten, walking across the little stage in the cafeteria at Kimball and getting my diploma, and then going to shake Miss Cummings' hand, and then having it be my senior year, this big step I'm about to take and going to college, that I'm getting my diploma, and then there's the lady that was standing on the other side, just like I was in kindergarten, and I'm this young lady now.
Barbara Victoria Smith.
In the fall, Barbie becomes the first in her family to go to college, and that little snow globe is going with her. A little reminder of a woman that was more than just her principal.
She's given me a sense of hope. What Miss Cummings has gone through, and with her family, and the tragedies in our lives, she's really been my beacon of hope. I just see where she's at and how she's an awesome principal, and how influential she is in Mesquite ISD, that I want to be just like her.